we wanted to watch Young Thug and Uzi perform because they were the last to perform. And then on the right side, it was Rocky and JuiceWorld. And then on the other, I think it was like it was some random like 80s rock band. It was really weird. I don't know why they had them there. I forgot specifically who it was. But regardless, it was who? Oh, it was Fat Joe. Oh, don't let me disrespect Fat Joe like that. No. We got to. I'm not. Regardless, I just didn't know who it was, and I saw a lot of old heads going over there.
Yeah. This is Eric from ZuCast, and we got another special guest here, Ilias.
Yes, sir.
So for those who don't know, who are you and what is it all that you do?
My name is Ilias Anwar. I do a bunch of stuff. I used to manage artists. I also throw shows and events for the college kids in the area, so I promote. And then through my brand, the Clout Cloud, we also throw events. We conduct interviews with local artists around the city. And lastly, I do like digital marketing, and I plan on like working for a record label as soon as I graduate after spring.
Word. And what grade are you? Well, what year are you in?
I'm actually a senior.
What?
Yeah, I know I look mad young.
Whoa.
Yeah, people watching on video, you'll see. But yeah, no, bro, I'm actually a senior.
The Clout Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
So you said that's your brand, and like, what is it that y'all do with that?
So it's like a media company. We use viral marketing to build up like the name of the brand and try and get like a bigger presence on social media. And then through that, we translate like that hip hop niche into like in-person events. So let's say like all we're posting is hip hop content, right? You're going to attract those people who are going to come to those shows in your area. And we've been doing that for the past like 3-4 years now.
Wow. And where did that idea come from?
So it actually started when I was a freshman, and that's why like when I saw you doing your podcast and everything, it reminded me a lot like what we were doing like in the beginning.
Yeah.
So basically it was me and a friend who went to CNU. One of my best friends, shout out Will, he actually was like, yo, we got to start something on Instagram because, you know, at the time in like 2017, the app was still new and it wasn't as like big as it is now, right? So we wanted to start like a clothing brand, or we wanted to do just something that is like related to social media. And finally we came up with the idea to like report news. And so at first it started off with like cryptocurrency, stocks, fashion, just a bunch of stuff that's like tailored towards like men in our generation, you know what I'm saying? And then once we started posting more and more about music, we found out that's what we liked reporting on, and that's what also had the best reception. So through that, we started posting more and more about hip hop news, and then eventually it transitioned into helping out artists with their own events and promoting for them.
So in the beginning, it was just you and your boy, so there's two people. Okay. And then how did y'all like expand to like where y'all are now with like 60,000 followers, virtuals? Don't you have Lil Yachty coming?
Well, we already did that show.
Oh, you already?
Yeah.
They already did the show with Lil Yachty. They got Lil Yachty. They got like these top celebrities. Like, how did you get there?
It was kind of like really quick because all of a sudden, like we just started getting a ton of followers, and we started getting like a lot more people who wanted to be involved with the brand. People just saw stuff on Instagram, and because I was involved with a lot of organizations on campus, like the word was spreading. And so like people who did music or like anything hip hop related kind of came to me because my friends were spreading the word about it through word of mouth, you know? Next thing you know, we had like 10 to 15 members on the team, and people keep talking about it on campus. And then eventually more opportunities lined up because we had more people on the team who were connected to people who had venues or people who had like smaller event spaces. And then the first ever show that we partnered with was with these two DMV artists called Light Show and Nucci. And that was through my partner Almira Zaki. So she's been doing a lot like for VCU. She's thrown the show that had Tory Lanez here a couple years ago. She threw the show with the APB team that also had Travis Scott.
And so that was legendary.
Yeah, that's
one of the reasons that I came to VCU, hoping that another show would happen like that during my 4 years. Hopefully that does happen. But what was you saying?
Yeah, that was it. So she had like a lot of connections to a lot of venues and stuff, and then as we went out to more shows and more event spaces, we met more people, and she was one of the few that was able to connect us with the right people to, eventually partner with these artists.
Where I want to talk about your first event in Richmond. Okay. How long ago was that again?
The first event that we threw, or the first event that we partnered with like a big artist?
That you threw.
That we threw? All right. So at the time, I think we had around 20, maybe 30,000 followers, right? And so we wanted to throw our own event because we were helping a bunch of artists, and we were just fresh off the Baby and Lil Baby concert that was supposed to happen in Richmond. That was supposed to be huge, right? We had like a whole media room. We were supposed to be right next to them, supposed to interview them. Everything was locked in. Next thing you know, one of them cancels. And this is not the first show that got canceled. This is like the second or third.
Oh my gosh.
And so it got to a point where we were just like, all right, we might as well throw our own show, even if it's like a bunch of local artists. It's not going to be as big for sure, right? But I'm sure we could still bring people out. So we had this idea, like, let's just throw it in my backyard. So we did that, and for some odd reason, I said this on another interview as well, the Hip Hop Drop Date interview. When we had like opening acts, I figured it would be a good idea if we played EDM, right? So we could bring like EDM, rap, hip hop, everybody together, bro. And for some reason in my head, it sounds so perfect. But once we had people actually come to the show, they're like, bro, what is this? Like, I'm getting out of here. So I'm like, all right, nah, we can keep doing, let's just keep playing EDM. Next thing you know, people hated it. They're like, what the hell? We only had 50 people at that show, and the cops ended up pulling up early, and they shut the whole thing down. And I thought I was never going to throw a show again. But one of those artists I was performing, he came up to me. He's like, bro, don't look at the numbers. I know it didn't turn out how you wanted it to, but the fact that you still brought people out here and brought this community together means more than anything you've done on social media. You actually did something tangible and something in person. That means a lot more. Yeah. And ever since then, we just kept throwing more and more house shows. Yeah,
and that's like, I guess, a problem that I'm facing right now, the numbers. Like, I want to be big. I want to be like No Jumper and Joe Budden and da-da-da-da, but it's like, Zuri, they're like 5, 6, 7 years in the game. I'm almost about to hit my second year, bro. But honestly, I feel like it'd be better for me if I more so focus on the impact of an interview. Like, I'm talking to you, like, the connection, and then you might put me on, or I might put you on something like this. The strength, that whole situation is like what I feel like I should be focused on. So I definitely feel you on that. So was it just that single conversation that made you want to do another show, or how did that go?
I mean, honestly, like I said, after that show, I thought we weren't going to do another one because it was so bad. It was honestly embarrassing, bro. Like, I had people on my team coming up to me and be like, bro, that was probably the worst show that I've ever been to. But we ended up doing another show a month later. I was like, let's give it another try, because at the time I was managing an artist called Pedro. And so I wanted him to perform. And when the cops came, they came right before his set, and everybody was real excited for that. So then we did another one at one of my friends' houses, which was closer to campus. So a lot more people were able to walk there rather than taking an Uber like 15 to 20 minutes all the way to my house. So this next one that we threw, it turned out perfectly. The cops didn't show up. A lot of people ended up coming. I think it was 3 times the amount, because the first show we had 50 people come, and the second was like 150. And after that show, everybody on campus was talking about it. They're like, all right, yo, we got to throw another show. Like, that was fun as hell. Let's do it again. And shout out to my boy Phil, who runs the Instagram and like all the social media. He brought one of his pledge brothers, whose name is Alex Phoenix. He's a fire artist, and he had like a big turnout at that show, and he had the whole crowd hyped up, and people were ready to come back and see him perform again.
Yo, that's very inspirational, bro. Because you doing that with shows, like, I kind of want to do that with parties, bro. Like, I just want to throw like this crazy diverse parties, bro. Because VCU was diverse. We got black, brown, white, all type people, gay, straight. You feel me?
That's what we were doing, bro. So like, not to go all the way back. This is a little bit separate from the Clout Cloud, but we threw this. We didn't throw this show specifically, but we were helping Moneybagg Yo and his team promote the show and like trying to help sell tickets.
It's so crazy when you say these names, bro. Like,
I'm not even trying to name. I'm just trying to give you an example. But like, they reach out because like they need people to like promote. You know what I'm saying? As you're building your platform, bro, that's like something that's really valuable. Like, we're transitioning to an age where people are trying to prioritize social media, and big companies and corporate is starting to now like dive into Facebook ads, influencer marketing, hitting up like brands, micro influencers, all that kind of stuff. So the more and more you keep doing this, the more value you're going to bring to your brand, and the more society will, start to mess with it too. So they came up to us and they're like, yo, we need you to promote this show to help us sell some tickets in like the college niche, which is something we were good at. And we did the Moneybagg Yo show with them. And we promoted some of the shows that they were doing like before that. And the venue owner of this place called Mainstage came up to me. He's like, yo, bro, since you guys are promoting all these concerts, why don't you think about throwing a party for the college kids? And we did that every Thursday. And like
every Thursday,
yeah.
bro. What?
And so we had people, I'm going to show you footage after this. We had
Okay.
people come in, like diverse crowd, the Hispanic kids, the Middle Eastern kids,
Yeah.
the white kids, like everybody, bro. Everybody was there and it was just a good time. And after a couple weeks, things started picking up and like there was a line down like 2-3 blocks, bro. And the thing was, it was like, I mean, some people who are older may not mess with it, but at the time it was the only place that was like 18 plus.
Yeah.
So like everybody started coming there and it was just cool to see like a bunch of communities all intertwined with each other, you know?
Hosting shows. Can you take me from beginning to end? Like, how early in advance are you planning? Who do you need to talk to line stuff up? All of that.
As far as local shows go, it's more so finding a venue. I think that's the most important part.
Yeah.
And it's finding somebody to trust you, to be like, okay, let's let this 20 or 21-year-old kid have something here. You know what I'm saying? So I'd say first off, just build off the connections, possibly even interview some people who have venues, you know, and get to know them better. And secondly, booking the artists. For me, it was easy because with the platform that we have, a lot of artists were coming to us, right? So we kind of already had that community. I just reached out to someone, was like, hey, yo, you trying to do me this favor and perform at this show? And they're like, all right, easily. And then next thing you know, they would tell one of their friends and then their friends would reach out and ask to perform. So I guess it's all about just knowing the right people and then everything will fall through.
What is like your dream show? Like the thing that just keeps you up at night? Like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. I want to do that so bad. Like, what is that?
It's going to sound super outlandish, but I want to throw like a big festival. And we were actually planning on throwing it this past year in April because we had built up the hype with the one house show in my backyard to then 2 house shows at somebody else's house and then 1 at a venue finally, right? And the next step was to throw like a small scale festival in Richmond. Because of the virus, we couldn't do that. So next year we're going to do that once everything opens back up, but I want something like big, like Rolling Loud type big, hopefully one day.
Yeah.
You know, once we get the right amount of investors and people on the team, I'm hoping that could go through. So it's just fun to have people come and then say that they enjoyed like your event or that they had like the most fun they've had in a while. You know what I'm saying? That's a cool feeling to give people.
And if I want to throw a party, like what are some of the things that I need to make sure is there?
Catering towards people, bro. Anything with the show, any event, you can ask anybody, bro. Whenever I threw any event, I was running around constantly. Anything anybody needed, I was trying to serve to them. So that way they felt like they had a good time and they keep on showing up to more and more events that you throw. You know what I'm saying? It's all about being a good host, catering towards people.
Word. Wow.
Like, look at what you're doing right now. Like, I see this studio. You had water here. Like, everything's like amazing. You cater towards my needs. I'm like, damn, I mess with this guy. Like, I want to start doing more stuff with you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Are you graduating in the spring?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you nervous, bro? Like,
bro, I am. I'm not gonna lie. It's like there's so much going on, and I really want to just like things to go in the right direction. And there's so much like landing a job with the record label, and then you know, obviously throwing these shows at the same time. There's so much that could go wrong, but I'm trying to stay optimistic. Hopefully this virus will go away and everything will be able to lock in perfectly.
Very true. Word. So you're a senior, and what's your major?
Marketing.
Marketing. All right. What got you interested in marketing?
I like trying to learn how to get like people's reactions. You know what I'm saying? So when we first started up the page, like one thing we do or that I looked into was like the psychology of color. So like when you're posting stuff on your feed, right? What can get somebody's attention so that it'll have somebody staying on a post longer, so then that it'll be referred to somebody else on their algorithm, right? So what I thought of was if the CloutCloud is tailoring towards people who follow like the NFL, ESPN, like all these like media outlets, right? What's the one thing that'll stand out? And that was like the color pink, right? Because on a guy's feed, you're not going to see the color pink or like light red a lot, right? So as soon as you see like the CloutCloud post, you just see that light red or light pink and it just sticks out to you immediately. And that'll get somebody to react more to that post. Damn. And so that when I saw that I wanted to learn more about stuff like that, I changed my major from merchandising to marketing, because I talked to my advisor and I told him that's something that interests me, and like finding how to get people's attention. They said, you should easily go into this if this is what you're passionate about.
Yeah, man. Wow. That's genius. Like the whole science behind just scrolling on the timeline is insane, bro. Have you seen The Social Dilemma on Netflix?
I did, yeah. Really like that. I came in here through the art school. So I came in as like a fashion merchandising major, and that's like finding out like what companies or what brands like want to buy at the time, or like what's trending, and then you try and beat that curve so that your company could be the first at that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so then, like I said, I found out marketing is what I wanted to do, and I made the transition, and I'm glad I did. Mm-hmm. But there's also this program called the interdisciplinary studies that you should look into.
Yeah.
You can combine a bunch of different majors together, and it makes it easier for you. So you could literally apply that after you graduate. I was always like against school, right? I was like, oh, I could do this. I really don't need to learn. But the one thing that somebody could never take away from you is your college degree. So it's like, after we were throwing these events, right? Like, we're like, okay, bet we're throwing this, and then we're throwing the festival. Like, we don't need school. Like, I'm gonna drop out. I'm gonna do this. Bro, COVID happened. All of it was gone. I was like, bro, I needed, like, now it really like shifted my mindset. Like, bro, a degree is very important, because let's say hypothetically something like this does happen again. I'll always have this, and this can always help me out. So of course, yeah, you really don't learn in school. I'm gonna be real with you, but the degree is still important. And I didn't realize that until like the virus happened, to be honest with you. I was minoring in entrepreneurship at the time, and then I kind of integrated with my major through that program I was telling you about. But they had like this pre-X program where you could win money for your company, and we won like $5,000 through like competing and stuff. So when you have like entrepreneurship as like a major or minor, like a lot of people will like email you like, hey, we have this for your startup, or hey, you could join this local startup and get some funding with them for your own brand. So there's just like a lot of opportunities that arise from there.
When you were a freshman, did you think you'd be doing this right now?
Nah, bro, I did not. I'm gonna be real with you, bro. And what you're doing your freshman year is already more than what I'm doing. That's why I think like by the time you're a senior, bro, you are gonna be killing this. You're gonna be killing it. You got Michael Millions here, bro. You got legends.
Oh, yeah,
I don't even feel right sitting here, bro. That dude's a Richmond legend, bro. I should not be here. I'm a 21-year-old kid, bro. I was a bad kid my freshman year. I'm gonna be real with you, bro. My mind state, I was so immature, bro. I really probably didn't even think past like my sophomore, junior year. Really, I was just living in the present. Like, I thought I was just gonna finish school my senior year, and then after maybe go get like a job in like an office or something. But now I'm glad that this brand has like transitioned into what it is now, because I know that what I really want to do is help like artists with their rollouts, or like find up and coming artists and bring them to a record label. And then on the side through my brand, I wanna throw events. That's what I love doing, bro. To see people happy and come back and be like, yo, bro, that was so much fun. It's the coolest thing ever. You know, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life.
What is different about the CloutCloud then versus now?
Now I would say we know what direction we're going into. Whereas like beforehand, it was kind of just like a thing with a bunch of my friends. We were just having fun. We just like music, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we were posting about. Whereas now it's become a little bit more professional. Although I still want to have this as something that's just fun to do, you know what I mean? But we move a lot different, a lot more militant than what we used to, bro. I mean, back then it was just like blog oriented, and now it's more like event based. A lot of the moguls in the industry, like you look at Diddy, you look at Scooter Braun, they all started by like throwing events and parties like when they were young, because that's networking essentially. And then they work with those connections and able to build off a record label, or eventually manage artists and take it to the next level. So yeah, the best thing you could do is like throw events, because that's essentially like a billboard for you, and you don't have to pay anything. People are going to send around that flyer, and they're going to see ZuWorld media everywhere. It's just going to help you out, you know what I'm saying?
What are some valuable tips or life lessons that you learned along this journey?
The best thing I would tell you, bro, is don't be in a rush to add people to your team, because I mean, we had like 35 to 40 people at one point, right? But I realized it wasn't the right people, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather have 10 people on my team who are fully into it, have the vision like long term, rather than 40 to 50 people who are kind of just a part of it, you know what I mean? And then 2 to 5 people are really only putting in like the real amount of work that they should be. And so that's something we've been working on. With COVID, we kind of cut down, because obviously we couldn't throw events anymore. So we got down to like 10 to 15 members now, and we're doing a lot more than we were then. You know what I'm saying? So just surround yourself with the right people, and don't be in a hurry to add somebody, especially if it's your friend, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you may have the passion, but your friend might not. And that's perfectly fine, you know?
Where do you see yourself? Well, first, where do you see your brand in like 5 years from now?
5 years, I want to throw one big like DMV festival. I think that's attainable. I think we could do that within next year. But 5 years time, this may sound super, super optimistic, but I'd say like a East Coast festival.
East Coast, I think that's hard.
Yeah, that'll obviously take a lot of work, but like we're talking to like investors and stuff right now. trying to get that out the way. And obviously we'd have to partner with a lot of people, but that would be my big main goal. It's just an East Coast festival.
Right. And where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
I want to be able to work at a record label and like one of the top 3, maybe like a Capitol Records, a 300 Atlantic, by doing like marketing, and then at the same time, you know, throwing events on the side. Do it, bro.
Bro, the way you're talking, like we're talking investing. You just, bro, just in this episode alone, you said Moneybagg Yo, you said Lil Yachty, Travis Scott, you said the Baby, Lil Baby. Like, bro, like, come on.
I don't want to
bro.
name drop though, bro.
No,
That makes
like,
me sound.
No,
but I
like,
get what you're saying.
Sweet.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like nobody else is like it's other 21-year-olds that just like that listening to
True.
the Baby, that's listening to Lil Yachty.
Yeah.
You are doing business with these people.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh? Like, come on, bro. Like. That's
for sure,
crazy.
bro. I mean, at the end of the day, once you get into that scene, it's like way easier than you think. I mean, bro, you're interviewing Michael Millions. We couldn't even interview Michael Millions, bro. He declined.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
So that's what I'm saying, bro. It's like for you may be seeing something and be like, damn, he got this. But I'm looking at you and I'm like, bro, I wish we got that Michael Millions interview. You know, that's a legend. So, bro, I mean, give it 2-3 years, bro. You're going to be interviewing some crazy artists, some crazy names. And you're going to look back at this like a year from now and be like, yo, what the hell is going on? People are always going to tell you can't do something. Just do it.
Just do it.
They won't. They'll call you crazy until you do it, and then they'll say you're a genius. So just keep on pushing. I mean, there's probably some people right now that still don't believe in it, but I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna have you watching.
Facts. And where can we find you on social media?
You could just type in my first and last name. It's Ilias Anwar, and then an underscore at the end, and that's on all platforms.
And what about your brand and all that?
Like, so it's like the Clout Cloud, TheClout, and then Cloud. That's pretty much it. All platforms.
And you can follow me on Instagram at Zer the Artist, or follow the podcast at ZuCast the Podcast. This is the Ilias interview. Clout Cloud. Show some love, y'all. Peace.